Design. Welcome to another edition of Throwback Thursday. This is a little series that I do that encourages us to break into our paper stash and pull out some of our older collections and make something fresh and fun with them. So I'm not throwing back too far today. I'm just going back to Lemon Craft's Delicious collection, which I've used a bunch of, and you can see I've got lots of scraps and bits and bobs here. And what I've done, this is going to be a pretty quick tutorial today, is I've just created this little layered card. This is super simple. I've cut this piece 5 3/4 by 5 3/4, and then I took this Reneabouquets wide ivory floral lace and stitched it right onto the panel. You can see I didn't stitch underneath here. And I actually fussy cut this image from the paper collection and stitched it in there as well. And this side, of course, is open. So right now what we're going to do is just take some adhesive. I just wanted you to see, this is such beautiful lace. But this adds a tremendous amount of texture, really subtle pattern, and I love the elegance of this ivory lace. So I'm just putting a little adhesive here, and this will keep our image from flapping around. So I distress the edges lightly, and you can see the stitching from the sewing machine, super simple. And now what we're going to do is attach, if I can find it, I did have ribbons. We're going to attach a ribbon right down here. And I'm wanting to emphasize the taupe and tan tones in this paper collection. So pretty with the reds and pinks, and there's almost like a lavender in there as well. So this is taffeta ribbon. I want to say it's just tan taffeta ribbon. And I've just tied a couple of double loop bows to add to the corners to frame. And a lot of you will say to me, why do you put your bows on upside down? Well, to me, this is not upside down. If I put this with the tails pointing down, it would cover up my teapot. And why would I want to do that? It's so cute. So tails up here, tails down here. And that works for me. But if this bothers you, do it your way. Then I took the Spellbinders May clear stamp of the month. I'm in love with this font and these sweet little sentiments, and I just stamped it onto a little bit of this cardstock. And this is old Tim Holtz Coordinations Color Wash cardstock. Do y'all remember that? So I really did dig into my stash for that. And the thing that you're supposed to do with this, so I just smudged my sentiment. That is not what you're supposed to do with that. But I will come in with a pen and fix that right up. There. Okay, no worries. But you distress the edges. The back is another color, and it, you know, it was a thing. It was a thing at one point. So I'm going to put a little dot of hot glue right here. And I want my tag to hang down. So I'm not going to do anything with the extra string for the moment. Then I also tied, and I've made such a mess here, I can't find anything. Here we go. It's a Monday. Mondays are hard, y'all. I actually tried about 6 different projects before I settled on this one. And I just couldn't get inspired. All I really wanted to do was go back to bed, which that didn't seem super productive to me, so I stuck it out. All right, a little iridescent metallic string, which I buy by the roll. I don't know what I would do without this stuff. I absolutely love it. You get this at Really Reasonable Ribbon. And it just adds that little subtle touch of elegant shimmer. All right. And then these are some little birdie flowers that I found in my stash, and they're called, actually there's not a name on here. They have this tiny little bit of lavender in the center, but look how well it works with these kind of lavender tones here. So I decided they were okay. Normally I would not do that, but I decided in this instance they're okay. So now I'm just making my little teapot go where I want it to go as I glue down my flower here. And I want to add one more up here in this corner. And now that this glue has set up, we can come in and just kind of snip down in here. So our teapot will stay where we've put it. And I'm trying to decide if I want to add more flowers or if I'm happy with this as it stands. So we're just going to play for a minute and then we'll make a game time decision here. What do you think? I kind of like that, so I think I'm going to go with it. I could. I just don't want to cover up my beautiful ribbon because I really like that. And I don't want to obscure all of the lace either. Okay. I'm going to add just a little more adhesive on this flower because it does not feel secure to me. There we go. All right. And then the last thing on the cover is 3 little buttons, 3 little vintage mother of pearl buttons. And I've threaded these with taupe thread because I like this combination of taupe and white. It's one of my favorites. It's just real soft and neutral. So that's it. That's the cover. Now, for the card base, I joined together some more of this Coordinations cardstock. And the thing about this is it's kind of flimsy. It's only probably about 65-pound weight. And for what I wanted to do, it's not really sturdy enough. But I want you to see how you come along with a little sanding block. And you can sand away the white, and it reveals the color that's underneath. And this works really well with this paper. See how pretty that's going to be? And this is just a very simple cover. It doesn't have to be too elaborate. Then on the inside, I've lined it with a cream cardstock just to give it some strength and stability. And then I cut some panels from my paper. And as you can see, this is short. Well, this is my box pocket. And if you haven't watched me make a box pocket before, if you go to my YouTube tutorials channel, I have a thing called, I think it's called Paper Crafting 101. It's a category, and I go over how to make all kinds of pockets in that video. And it's a free video, so you can just go there and learn how to make, I don't know, about a half a dozen different styles of pockets. So it's kind of a handy video to watch. And if you've watched my channel for any time at all, you know I love pockets. I love adding pockets to my cards. So, all right, so there's the inside of our card. And then on the pocket, I'm trying to decide what to cover the pocket with. As you can see, I'm down pretty low. That's cute. All right, let's go with that. And if I recall, my pocket is 2 1/4 inches. I'm just gonna measure that. Yep. So I'm gonna come right here, 2 1/8, and I want to go 5 7/8. Okay, I want it to be just a little bit, I want a little bit of that white to peek through. Yeah, that's cute. So what I'm going to do is take all my assorted little scraps and bits and bobs. I'm going to wrap up a Tea Party in a Box. And if you're not familiar with those, if you look on my blog, you'll find a whole bunch of Tea Party in a Box projects. So that's really sweet. And since it's starting to get warm here, I'm just going to move this over to here for a moment. I'm not going to put chocolate in. I don't like to mail chocolate living in the South once it starts to get warm. So what we're going to do today, sometimes I do a bookmark. Today we're going to do a little magnet. So this is another one of the sentiments. I stamped it in black on just a scrap of cream, and then I heat embossed it with clear embossing powder. This is Antique Linen Distress ink, and I'm just going to put a little bit of this down. And then I come in, and it's probably hard for you to see this on this craft sheet, but I promise you there's ink there. And I'm just going to, you can see there's where I stamped it wrong the first time. So I just flipped it over. I'm just going to put this in here and pick up a little bit of color. This is one of my favorite techniques to do. And it just adds that little tiny bit, and I might actually come in with just the tiniest bit of bundled sage and do the same thing. And I'm gonna take my paper towel and just tap up the excess that's here. And I'm going to drop this down in. And I'm just barely tapping. To pick up the little bits of this ink. And I'm going to come in with my heat gun and just dry this. I like that very much. So what we're going to do is build this little magnet, and I've got this Reneabouquets beautiful board. Look at this sweet little girl with her teacup in her chair. And then this is going to tuck like this. So I'm going to cut this right along this edge. And now I'm going to put a little bit of adhesive. Well, I'm going to place my girl where I ultimately want her to be, which is right up in here. I'm going to put just a little bit of adhesive on the back of my stamped sentiment. Just very quickly add a little shading around the edges. So now that I have this placed, I'm going to go sew this up on my sewing machine. Okay, so you can see where I've stitched my little sentiment on here. Now what we're going to do is come in with some vintage trims, and these are some that I just had in my stash. And just going to take my Dries Clear adhesive bead of it down right there. And this one down here I'm going to snip right here because we don't have to go all the way to the bottom. So just like that. And don't go too close to the edge because we're going to stitch this, and what you don't want is to be stitching through wet adhesive. Your sewing machine is likely to have choice words for you if you do. So then I'm going to also do the same thing. I don't know if I want to do it here or if I just want to do it along here. Let's just look at this for a moment. Actually, I think I just want it right there. So then I also cut a piece of my cardstock that's slightly larger. And again, we're going to come in. I don't know how I get my desk so messy so fast. We're going to come in with our sanding block, and we're just going to lightly sand and distress along these edges. This is easier to do if you lay it down, but you can also scratch up your nonstick sheet. So I'm just holding it in my hand. There you go. Just distressing it a little bit. I'm going to put a little adhesive in the middle, and I'm going to come in with my magnets. We're going to put one up near the top, and we're going to put one down near the bottom. And that ought to be enough to hold this. And then we're just going to center this up over. And we're going to go back to the sewing machine and stitch. Well, I don't know that we have to stitch. I think that's pretty just like that, actually. Save myself some trouble. I'm just going to put some adhesive on here. I like it like that. It looks really good. We've got just enough stitching around our sentiment to make it look special. And these magnets are small, but they're really strong. And they don't add as much weight as a magnetic panel would. I've done it both ways, where I've stitched a magnetic panel inside, but I don't think we need to do that. So now we're going to take our lovely little tea drinking girl. We're going to position her right here. So cute. And then these are also little birdie flowers. Oops. I want to add just a wee bouquet. Sometimes you have to turn these because the little faces have turned to the back in shipping. I want one right here. So sweet. Glue webs always. And I want one, I think, right there. So there's our little magnet to go in our box pocket, and it fits perfectly. That is so sweet. And I'm leaving this blank because this is a great place to write a note since our pocket is full. And all I have to do now is wrap my goodies and put them in here. And I'll come back and show you finished. All right, guys, we're going to finish this up. Here's our little magnet. I just love the way this turned out. That is so sweet. And I checked it out, and it really does stick. Those two magnets are plenty strong enough, so that goes in. I decorated up a little lemon and ginger tea bag to go in there. I'm going to put that behind because I don't want to squish our flowers. And then here's a little honey pack to go with the lemon and ginger tea, and a little Biscoff cookie. Let me see if that goes there. This goes here. And then one of my sweet little vintage demi-tasse spoons. So that all goes in the box pocket. I'm not going to even do anything here. I think it's perfect just the way it is. And I've added the cover on the front. And I did move my tag. It interfered with the box being able to stand up. So I just went in there and snipped, put a little bit of dimensional on the back, put it up here, and then added a little bow at the top, and it looks like it was supposed to be there all along. So that is Throwback Thursday for this week, guys. I hope I gave you some fun ideas for card making and gift giving. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I'd love to have you along for the journey. If you do me a favor and give this video a like, it helps other crafters find my channel and also helps me to grow. All right, guys, go make the world more beautiful, one card at a time. I'm going to go get my craft on. Bye.